Hey now, it's me, Soraya Parker Pill, and I'm here with my guy. His name is Eric Willem, but I call
Gilliam,
him
Gilliam,
the
Gilliam.
power of law. And he'll talk about why I call him the power of law, but we're about to give you some excellent nuggets on how you can get licensed to curry. And this is awesome. I don't know if it's licensed to curry or licensed just to get a gun, whatever
Both,
it is
both.
to take over the power of law. Why not do it correctly if you can do it through Eric? So he's going to tell us and run down some things about his past, how he got into this, on all his businesses, his responsibilities, and how he give back to people like me and you to get what we need to do things the right way. So, Eric, tell our listeners what it is you actually do and how we can get this done through you.
Okay, okay. So how everybody doing? My name Eric Gilliam. Uh,
Gilliam. Sorry, it's not Gwillem. It's Gilliam.
Gilliam, yeah, Gilliam. Yeah. So the company is Defense 360. Um, I started it maybe like a little over a year ago. The should I go over the process first or how I got to this point? Which you want me to do?
However, you want to tell us, we just need to know how we get to you to help us through this all.
Okay. All right. So the way you get in touch with me would be my phone number 443 764 9030, or the website. The website is mydefense360.com, and or my Instagram is defense360md. So that's the way you get in touch with me. Um, I know you did hit on two things. You said the wear and carry or the HQL to get a gun. So it's actually both right now. Right now,
Awesome.
you actually can get both. They right now they going. They just had a circuit court ruling where they just had a court ruling where they trying to do without the HQL. But as of right now, we still provide the HQL. And even when they do without the HQL, we would still be going over the HQL information. For anybody who don't know what the HQL is, it stands for Handgun Qualification License. And like you said, that gives you the right to purchase a legal handgun in the state of Maryland. And what they classify as a handgun is any barrel less than 16 inches. So you got it right now. You got to go through an HQL class to purchase a pistol with a barrel anything that's less than 16 inches.
And
Uh,
we can do that class through you, correct?
absolutely,
That's what
absolutely. And
I'm talking about.
that's a 4 hour class. That's only 4 hours to get your HQL right now.
Okay.
And the way and carry would grant you the access to be able to carry on you. That's a 16-hour class, which we also provide, and we do all of that. Well, so you can come to my location, which is 4 Newisha Court, or we also we mobilize. So if you have a group of 10 or more, we'll come to you. We've done businesses, we've met people at their business and certified them and their employees. Um, so that's pretty much what we how we move around. So you either come to us or we'll come to you.
Now, let me ask you about people backgrounds. All right, so I know that I have felonies and I have some cleared, but the felonies that I did not scratch off my background are the ones that's like over 20 years old. Don't you still have to get those cleared off
Yeah,
before you can actually go to the 4 hour class first, or it doesn't matter if that's
yeah,
not expunged?
yeah, you do. So the class, when you take the class, my certification is good for 2 years. Um, the expungement is like a 6 week process. For anyone that need help with expungement, I have a young lady who has a nonprofit that work with prison reform. She's an advocate for prison reform, and she does the expungements for free. So for
Okay, I'm
anybody,
ready.
yeah, I give it to you. I was getting it up now. Her name is Nicole. She real good at what she do. Let me pull it up for you. You want me to give it to you now? Because
I'm
her
sure. I
it's
mean, our
called out.
listeners been
Her
yeah,
organization is called Out for Justice,
okay.
and the website is Out for Justice. That's out number four justice.org, and her phone number is 443-600-0920, and she do expungements for free.
Okay.
For anybody that needs expungement. So you would have to, if you have what she don't do pardons.
Okay.
So for anybody who need a partner, so but they the two things that so let's go over that then. What qualify you? What
Yes.
qualify you to get your permit or your license to carry? So what qualify you is you had to be a legal citizen, and as of October uh, 1st, you had to be at least 21 years of age, and you have to have your record. If you have you couldn't have any record. So if you have a misdemeanor, it had to be expunged. And if you have a felony, it would have to be part.
That is
That's
awesome.
that's the
So,
process.
me and my husband will be your first clients, coming from us and my team of people that's going to be coming your way, doing some business with you. Um, Tell us about your lifestyle. Like, how did you get here? I'm sorry about the shaking
Long story.
camera.
I think it came to me. I don't think I got here. I think it came to me. That's what I tell my class. I said, they said, how did you get into this? And why did you choose to do that? I think it chose me. Because when I was 5 years old, my uncle got shot in front of me.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
So when I was five, my uncle some guys tried to rob him in front of the house, and he tried to run inside the house with me and my sister. She was 7 at the time, and they shot him through the door. When he ran in the house and slammed the door. They shot through the door while we was in the dining room. So I seen that at 5 years old. My first childhood friend got killed. He got shot and killed at 13.
Mm.
At 13 years old, I actually had a gun pulled on me by a grown man. Somebody in his 20s pulled a gun out on me. So early on, I just felt the necessity to be able to protect myself, and I knew the community that I was growing up in. I wasn't, and not that I'm a bad person, but the community wasn't trying to wait for me to become 21 and go take a class. Just to let you know, as of last year, like last July, I think July of 2022 is when it became. Before July 2022, you had to have owned a business. So right now, as of July, right now you just have to have just you can get your license to carry a firearm for personal protection now. That's a recent thing, because before that you had to own a business, or you had to been a victim of abuse, or your job required you to, like a security or armored truck driver.
Mm-hmm.
So this is like something that never been done before, where now you can just, the Supreme Court ruled in New York, they ruled that they were suppressing people's second constitutional right. They were suppressing your Second Amendment right. They said the Second Amendment was never meant for people with with a business. It was meant for people just for being a legal citizen. It was for the citizens, and so they suspended that. Governor Hogan suspended that when that Supreme Court ruling happened. So I always felt like my community wasn't waiting for me to own a business and become 21 and take a class. So I had to, at 5 years old, you see that happen. This community, they didn't care that children was in the house. They shot through the door. So somehow my grandmother, I don't know, somehow my father, inside of me, firearms were introduced to me. The streets introduced guns to me. You see that, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get guns introduced to me the way that I introducing them to my community and my children and my
Exactly.
family. I'm introducing them to a responsible way. But so before I was able to get proper training, I still had to protect myself. And so that's kind of how I got into the firearms, just by just living and trying to survive and make it to be 21 and have children and raise a family. But what happened when I was 19, I got arrested. I got arrested with 5 guns at 19 years old.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy you said that because I have a 5 handgun charge felony that I just found out about only a few months ago
Right.
that I need to get expunged off my record. And
And
I'm
now
coming
listen
to
what you saying though. Now listen to what you saying something that like I mean, man, I I had some favor that that some grace
hmm
that I didn't even deserve or didn't know that
that's
I
how
didn't
God
know
works.
how things was working in my favor.
hmm
At 19 years old, I was just happy not to go to jail. One of those firearms was a MAK 90, which would carry 25 years by itself. And I was happy just to not go to jail that day, which I got a
Mm.
probation before judgment. And it was a felony. But somehow my attorney, who he's still in my life to this day, I met him when I was 19. He in my life to this day. He when we as a 19-year-old, I was just happy not to go to jail that day. I accepted probation before judgment, 200 years. I mean 200 200 hours.
hmm
So that when we was walking out, I was happy. My family, friends, everybody was happy. My attorney turned back around and said, "You know what? Let we want to reduce this felony to a misdemeanor." I didn't know how important that. I didn't care. I was happy to not go to jail that day.
Right.
But that's the reason that now I'm able to be in this position because of of it's a misdemeanor is easier to get that expunged. The pardon is a harder process. And when you talk to Nicole, she'll tell you they don't want people that was felons to be able to get back into society and exercise these rights. So but he did that for me, and not because I pushed him to do it. He did it for some reason, and it worked for me.
It
Because
was God's favor on you. You are highly
so
favored by
now
God.
but look, now God is able to use what I thought was a negative and turn it into a positive.
hmm
The very thing that I thought was a bad thing, because I'm not, if anybody that know me, I'm not a bad person. Never been a bad person. Nobody look at me as a bad person. But the story that I tell of my kids, I got arrested with 5 guns. And because the law of discipline smacked me, you got them guns, you got them guns. And it was like this dark cloud over my past,
hmm
right? But I was able to turn that what was looked at as a negative and turn it into a positive, because my children I introduced before I was even teaching. So I got my legal right. I have a company called G&W Trucking, right? I started in
hmm
2007. That allowed me the right to carry 11 years ago, because you had to own a business,
Uh-huh.
and I got the right to carry. So that was 11 years ago. So since then, my son wasn't even born yet, right? So he was
Uh-huh.
raised with guns in the house. My daughter, she was about 4 or 5 with me having firearms in the house. So, but for the last 6 or 7 years, they've been actively helping me break guns down on Sunday, cleaning them like a chore to take the curiosity out.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, so and now maybe like 2 years ago, I've been taking them to the range. So I was able to introduce firearms and guns to them in a responsible way, and not like being at the basketball court like me and seeing people pull guns out and put guns on it and hide guns when the police come. And so it just I was able to learn from I know what we didn't have, and our community, the stereo guns and us is the stereotype that make us say we don't want a gun. So when I first got a legal gun, the carry. Yeah, I'm a business owner. I'm employing 5 people. I'm a deacon in my church, full-fledged ministry, right? I
Awesome.
I get a gun, and my family was the first question that even my 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 brothers and sisters from the faith like, why you
Uh-huh.
want a gun? No, they were saying, well, that means I don't have faith in God, right? And then my
Right.
family was saying, why you want a gun? What, you want to kill somebody? What you want to rob a bank? It was like a joke, like,
Are you
and I was like,
serious?
but because it's a negative. We've been taught that us and firearms is something bad, but is we exercise our Second Amendment too. So
Right.
it's one of my favorite quotes is from Frederick Douglass. Frederick Douglass said, "A person rights rest in the ballot box, the jury box, and the cartridge box, the box of bullets." Right? So if you feel like my ancestors died for the right to vote, they also died for your right to exercise your Second Amendment too. They
That's
go
right.
hand in hand because we celebrate it every year. We celebrate the 4th of July. What was that? That was people exercising their Second Amendment,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's what we
Yeah,
we celebrated, but then we feel bad or like we bad people for owning firearms, and so that's why I'm real heavy and real big into educating. It's not just about getting a gun and go ahead about your business. We building a community, right? We building a community of trained, skilled, and knowledgeable gun owners,
that's right.
right? And safe. Like my kids actually know the gun safety rules. They know never point your firearm at nothing you're not willing to destroy. They know
That's
never to
right.
put your hand on a trigger until you're ready to shoot. They know never. They know never always know your intended target and what's behind it. My kids know this.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just take a lot of passion in making sure that my community is properly trained,
Educated.
properly educated on it. I mean, I've done it for free for 10 years, right? So for 10 years, 11 years ago, the culture is changing. So 11 years ago, you couldn't find a black person with a legal gun, right? Either
Uh-huh.
it was military or police. Regular people, it was like when I get pulled over by police, they never seen nobody like me. They would have me pulled over so long, like we were sure how did you do that? We were sure we was going to find something on you. It was never heard of, like, so 11 years ago, my community never. I showed people that it can be done. It was just and it was like it was just like in people's mind that, man, one day I'm gonna do it. But I was the proof that it can happen. And
Uh-huh.
what happened
Uh-huh.
once I became a legal gun owner, and especially the ones that know my history, right?
Uh-huh.
And so when I became a legal gun owner, I became an advocate, and I became like a hub or a source or information source of the step process on how you do it. And like over that 10 years, I've helped maybe like 80 to 100 people become legal gun owners. A lot of my business colleagues, a lot of my close friends, I helped them and I stepped them through the process. And what happened, a friend of mine, Bolo, he was one of the people that I kind of convinced, like, that, that it was necessary to be able to protect yourself legally and protect your family. He owned a restoration business. And when I convinced him about, you're not gonna believe it, about he had to get it, he went to court and got his records expunged. He didn't even use an attorney. He went to court and dealt with it himself, right? Got his record expunged. And the same day he get his record expunged, he signed up for a class and
Yeah,
get
that's
into a
what's going to
class.
happen with me. And
Exactly.
that's
And what
going
he
because
this
I have the paperwork. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
okay.
cut you off. I actually have
No,
the paperwork. I know how to fill it out. I know how to do all of that. So your record will be expunged. Like they put it in the same day and say, okay, everything is in, but then you'll get something in the mail a week later saying that everything has been awarded for the expungement. You don't need an attorney, but it's good to know that you have the avenue and the information for people to like that don't know or don't want to do the work to be able to go through Nicole and get this done. See, our
Mhm.
black people have been so brainwashed. We've been
Absolutely.
so brainwashed to think a certain way about what we do or how we're going to end up because of our lifestyle and where we was brought up at. But if you can change the way you think, all things are possible. And that's what I always look forward to is being able to train people and educate them that if we are just educated in our mind to think differently and absorb the real truth and understand it and apply it to our life, we can get so much done. So much done. But
Mhm.
it's the way you think first. That needs to be programmed in you that we're not bad people, that all black people are just going to be killers when they get a gun in their hand or whatever, or we don't use it
Absolutely.
responsibly. I mean, if
Absolutely.
we are learned and we're trained properly and you're absorbing it and you're applying it to your life, we can make a difference. And the most people that can make a difference in this world is black people. That showing them that we also can do the same thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And my buddy Bolo, 6 months later, he come up to me and say, "Hey man," he said, I own $25,000 worth of guns." I said, "Wow, 25,000." He said, "Man, I owe." I said, "Wow." He said, "Man, but you was the one pushing me
Yeah.
and advocating and telling me how important it was to be able to exercise my rights. And man, I'm all in now." I said, "Man, that's good. I'm happy for you." So he challenged me though. He said, "Why are you not an instructor? I mean, all these different people you done pushed it at. And I never thought about it as being profit driven because it was more purpose driven for me pushing everybody. I felt like I was like a whistleblower. I felt like I was enlightened by something that I just felt propelled to be able to I just couldn't be quiet about it. I couldn't be quiet about the process and making sure people knew. And when he said, "Why are you not an instructor?" I said, "Wow, it's sitting right in front of my face. Like I'm sitting here sending 80 to 100 people to other instructors. I'm spending hours on. I'm spending some people, and he been on. We been me and him both got hours on the phone helping people get through the expungement process, helping people um find a class, helping people fill out their application. We spent numerous hours, and it just made so much sense. And so we took the class together, and we actually do the teaching that we work together. He got his own company. I had my company, and but we do our classes every other weekend together. Uh,
That is amazing. I think I'm gonna be a partner of y'all, and I'm gonna be the first
it's a
female
come
instructor with
on. We
y'all
building a
as a
community,
partner.
and tell you why we building a community because I got a story. The community wasn't really inviting. I'm being honest. I can't do
Yes,
nothing but be honest. The
please be
at
honest on this
11
podcast.
years ago, the gun community wasn't no community for me to go home to. I got certified and I was just out there, right? And I would go to gun shows when I was the only black. Or you might see a military but I was the only. I was maybe one of three black people at gun show at the time. And sometimes you see Confederate flags and things like that sitting on the tables, and it was hard sometimes to get people to. I couldn't beg people to spend money with. I couldn't beg them to give them my money. It was so uninviting. And I would even go to gun stores and say, "Hey, I want help." They say, "I'm busy." I said, I just want, I know what I want. Okay, find her, find this person. So I went to a gun show in Frederick, Maryland. I took some friends with me, and I had my son. My son couldn't walk at the time. He was like, he was maybe 8 months old, and I had a
Hmm.
bag of guns with me, and I took my guns with me because I wanted to. When you get into this, you're gonna end up coordinating you'll buy a gun, but you're gonna coordinate it to fit your personality. You're
Most
gonna you're
definitely.
gonna put some things on it,
Yeah,
some
I'm a
optics, and
customizing type
you're gonna
person.
customize it, right?
Yes.
And so I bought my guns with me just so I make sure I got everything right and it's gonna fit. And they had at Frederick Gun Show. They had two pavilions, and they stopped us and ran and stopped us before we entered the building. And said, "What you got in the bag, right?" And I like, and they made me take my gun off me. They made me take the firearms out the bag, and they wanted to lock. They wanted to lock out all of my guns. They locked them. Excuse me. They locked them out. They put what they made sure no magazines was in them, and put big wire ties in them and locked all of the slides back. And then they started make one firearm that I had. They tried to make it seem as like it was illegal.
What?
They end up calling the owner, calling the police. And I'm like, wow, I'm really ready. This really ready to happen. I got my baby son with me. And if I didn't know what I had and know the different laws and know the barrel lengths and
That's
know the
right.
shoulder stock, if I didn't know these things,
They would have took it
they
from
was
you
finding a reason to get me out of there.
and
And
go
so
to
what I was
jail.
able to do this, and they had to go fact check, and then the owner of the pavilion said, you know what? Yeah, he's right. It's not illegal. So, but just lock it out. Make sure he don't have it loaded in here. But when I walk around, everybody walking around with guns and with nothing, no locks on them. So I'm the
But it's
only
you.
person out here, black guy, with the gun with a firearm locked out at that time. And this what made it worse. When no one would sell me nothing, they wouldn't sell me nothing. So we left, and we left coming down 70. When we left the parking lot, the state trooper followed us down 70. And I just was telling everybody, well, okay, if they lock me up, if they pull us over, if they lock me up, just call my wife, let her come pick up my son.
Oh
And
my
they went
God.
to the sign. The sign said, "Welcome to Baltimore." That's when they did the U-turn and went back once again. And so I'm just saying, so it's very important that what we doing, Defense 360,
It's teaching.
we trying to build a community and build it where people have. It's not about just, like I said, I've done it for free. I've helped people and advocated for this for nothing. But it's not about just getting your money, certifying you, and sending you on your way. We trying to be a resource of information. After you get certified, we're trying to be a resource and grow a community of knowledgeable people that everybody have knowledge. Everybody have a skill set now. Everybody know the laws and know the rules. So that's what we stand for. That's what we stand for.
I'm just so happy that you've been on this podcast. I'm glad you're the first power of the law. That's what I call you. That's your name for me. He's the power of law. I give everybody a nickname. He's the power of law. And it's great to know that you're just not God driven, but you're also driven to help us Black people to be educated. Because the worst thing you can be is not educated in what your rights are. And then you're putting yourself in jail and letting people really just do whatever to you to get you locked up because you don't know your rights. You don't know your rights. You can't protect yourself. You can't do anything. So I've always been in the field of being able to teach and educate people, how the rich stay rich and how the poor stay poor, is because they don't know what to do with their money. They don't know how to do financial services. I'm licensed to do financial services and we do insurance. The thing is, you educate a Black person on how to do things right with their money, they will never want again. They will never want again. And you're teaching people not to ever hate being around something that can really save other lives and your lives. And because you're going to teach them what is right by law, to carry, how to get licensed and qualified, and how to also show them how to be able to teach others as well. Because once you teach one that absorb them, the information that you have for people, they're going to be talking for you and teaching and not even knowing they are doing that.
Right.
And that's great. So we definitely, me and my husband definitely is going to be getting this done ASAP.
Do he have a record also?
He does not.
Okay.
He does not have a record at all.
That's good. And so you say you calling this the power of law?
Yeah.
Power of law. I like that. I like that. So
You the
I'm trying
power
to
of
think.
law.
I'm
That's your
trying to think
name.
what I can give you law lawfully or rules, since you called it that, I'll think about it. Since you tagged it that. But it's definitely know the rules and know the laws, because you don't want to do the right thing the wrong way.
That's
So
right.
it's not about just getting to eat. So right now they trying to do without the HQL. They saying that the HQL is putting too much of a burden. So let us get into law, since you call it the power of law. Some new laws is going. Some things are happening right now in court. Um, so they trying to go do away without the HQL, because they saying it's been putting an extra burden on law-abiding citizens,
Hmm.
right? So what that's going to do is make it where people won't have to take the 4-hour class to get their HQL. The thing that which I'm okay with that. What I'm not okay with is having a firearm and not having the information. So
Exactly.
if they're not gonna make you legally have to go do it, but as a responsible gun owner, you want this information. Like
And
these
that's why we're
rules and
going to
laws,
come.
I would have been in jail if and had to prove it in court if I didn't know. When I was at that gun show, if I
Uh-huh.
didn't know the firearm that I had, if I didn't know about the barrel length and the shoulder stop, if I didn't know, I was going to go to jail that day.
That's right. And they were
And I
going to get away with it.
and so protecting yourself is not about I got a firearm license and I protect myself, right? See, if you do things the wrong way, that's murder.
Yeah.
That's 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 murder. That's manslaughter.
Yeah.
See, if you do it the right way, that's the use of deadly force. That's the
Hmm.
use of force, and that's what we teach. And so we teach you to protect yourself, and that's if you only had to choose between your life and someone else's life.
Right.
You know, so don't underestimate. Just don't. I don't want nobody to say just look at like, oh well, we don't have to go to class. We don't need to know that. So if this information this is your life, because your job is just
Valuable information. And
your job.
anyone that actually follows me and follow the people that comes on this podcast, they going to do it the right way, which is A to Z, and you're teaching the right way. And that's what's going to get done. Like, I don't want anyone to come to you and say, well, do I have to do all this? Say this is required if you want to do it the right way. And that's the only way we want to do is the right way, and do all of that. The 4-hour class, the 16-hour class, make sure everything is done. Make sure you go to class repeatedly to know everything you need to know about what you're carrying or what you're interested in or what you might be around, to know if someone else is going to be around you, that's not supposed to be around you, if they have something that's illegal. So if you don't know the gun and someone say, oh yeah, I got my carrying license, but they have something illegal around them, y'all both going down. But if we take in what you're going to teach us, we'll know that we can protect ourselves from others too, from just telling us anything. Am I right?
Absolutely, absolutely,
I
absolutely.
can't hear you.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. I said absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, so we're not gonna, if we're gonna do this, we're gonna do it the right way. Regardless if they're trying to get rid of some stuff, we want everyone to take the 4-hour class to get your what is it called? HQL?
HQL, HQL.
HQL. We want them to get that, and we want them to take the 16 hours, regardless of any laws they're trying to, say that they're going to get rid of. Believe you me, it's probably just a trap. So
And I,
get
I,
all
I
your
say this.
license.
I don't. I'd rather be. I'd rather be a
Overprotected.
warrior in a garden than a
That's right.
gardener in a war. I'd
That's right.
rather have the right and not have to use it than not have
Exactly.
the right and then need to use it.
Yep.
Right. So even people that say I don't, there's a lot of different. Like we just really trying to change the stereotype, and
Hmm.
how they view gun ownership. It's not just because you or me want to own a firearm. And I'm gonna tell you something. Because you say you teach finance. No, look at the economics that we missed out on. Look at the financial benefit that we missed
Yeah.
out on. So it's something going. Now I'm ready to talk to you about a law too, the power of law. And I think in 1986, they banned the fully automatic, I think Mac 10 automatic 11, right?
Uh-huh.
And what that did is, so at that time, say they was costing $200, right? Now them firearms that people paid $200 for are worth 13,000, 20,000, right? We missed out on all of that because we say, guns are, but why you need to have a gun? You don't, because how guns are, the way guns were introduced to us in our community, we just think guns and bad people,
That's right.
right? But we missed out. Like, people going to pass that down to their children's and grandchildren and children, right?
Mm-hmm.
So look what's happening right now. They trying to pass a bill right now for the AR tax, 1,000% AR tax. So think about, now let's do the math. If I paid $1,000 for AR, if they pass this 1,000% AR tax, now that same gun is what, 10,000.
That is awesome.
That's we can really miss out on all of that. Telling our family, stay away from guns, stay away from guns. Why
Oh,
you
we
need a
ain't gonna
gun?
miss out on it. We
And
catching on right on time.
and this now I'm ready. One thing I just want to talk logic too. We've been taught something that's not even true. Don't even make logical sense. We've
Mm-hmm.
been taught that if we are in harm's way, if we're in harm's way, or we feeling threatened, to call the police or the military gonna have our back. We just seen in Ukraine. Do you see what happened in Ukraine? They let the women, evacuated the women and children. This was last year. They evacuated the women and children
Mm.
and made the men stay and defend their country, right? And the government was going around dropping off guns to the citizens there, right?
Right.
And the reason that I'm saying that is, we can't. It's not logical to say that you are yourself best first responder. There's nobody. God, nobody care about you more than you. Nobody care about your kid. You can't pay a police enough, or a security guard. I have a security company. Defense is also we do private investigation, security, and firearm training.
I'm gonna be in partnership with that too. I got many licenses. I said I'm gonna be in partnership with that too. Can you hear me? I can't hear you. No, I'm sorry. So what I'm going to do is, if you did not remember his information, I know. If you did not remember his information and you do want to get in contact with him, just listen to the very beginning.
Can you hear me?
Now I can hear you. I was
All
just
right, it
about
went
to
to my Bluetooth. It went to my
yeah,
Bluetooth.
I was about to say, look, we're gonna end this show right now. If you didn't remember what he said, please go to the beginning of this show so he can give you the information again and let
I do
him
remember
know
though.
so we can get in contact with you. But you can finish what you were saying and then we can give them your information and keep it
Okay.
moving and get these people to be under the right care from the right person that's going to teach us how to have the power of law.
So the point I was trying to drive home, that you can't pay a security company or a police officer enough to care about you more than you. It don't
Uh,
make sense. It's not logical. So, that's good for extra reinforcement or backup, but the best first responder for you or your family is you. I know people right now that been locked up for. I know people that got killed under witness protection.
mm,
I know a guy now that's home. He was arrested for 14 bodies,
mm.
and he's home now. The
Wow.
police rewarded him because he told about other things. So now
Yeah.
they let him come home and rewarded him. He's back home. He home now. So so you got to protect yourself. You the
Yeah.
best first responder for yourself. So if I call the police to protect me, and then they lock the person up, and then he tell about something else, and they let him come back home, what sense do that make to you?
It
You
doesn't
gonna
make
call? So
none.
you gonna call the police again?
No,
So
no.
I'm just saying you have to be trained. You are yourself best first responder, and that's what we teach. So I
Most
appreciate this
definitely.
time. I'm glad that we got that you on board.
We
You
gotta
put
have a part two, but I'm serious
okay.
about going into partnership with you after I get everything taken care of, which is not going to take me no time because when I say something out my mouth, I do. I absolutely do it. Like I don't play around. I'm a go getter. I do what is must to be done and let people know. Basically, I do all the things that I do, and you do many things too. So you basically showing people that if your mind thinking, your body can follow. It can follow. Like I'm telling you, it starts with a thought. And that thought can encourage you to get things done that you didn't even had no clue about that you could do. Especially being our color, we are so our mind is just mentally disturbed. Mentally disturbed because of what we've been taught and what we allowed in our spirit to believe. But you're proving that things can change in no time is if you're serious about getting it done. Correct?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right. You're right. Gun
So
safety.
I would love for you just to and tell our listeners what's the last thing you want to go home with. And please say your number loud and clear, your IG, your email, whatever it may be, so we can get in contact with you because we're going to change the world starting today.
Okay. So my name is Eric Gilliam. The company is Defense 360. It's a personal training. I actually take your own personal experiences and teach you these lessons and make it practical. And I do it using your own personal experiences. That way you can understand it. I want to be your instructor. I want to train you. Join us. My website is mydefense360.com. The Instagram is Defense360MD. My phone number is 443-764-9030. And my last point that I just wanted is gun safety. Is be safe. Firearm safety. I think it's like 30% of firearm shootings are by accident.
Yeah.
People making a mistake, shooting their loved ones, shooting themselves. Even friendly fire, even police officers, make a mistake, they shoot. They might. New York went New New York changed from hollows. I mean, changed from Full Metal Jackets to go to hollows because they had something called friendly fire, where they were shooting their intended target, and the bullet will over penetrate and hit their partner,
Mm.
or hit an innocent bystander. So firearm safety, I just want to drive that home. It ain't about getting a firearm; it's about being safe
Most
and being
definitely.
properly used.
And protecting, having proper care, being able to protect others around you that can't protect themselves or is willing to go that next step to being able to protect themselves. So we need to look out for not just ourselves, for others as well. And definitely safety is the key to all of this. And please give Nicole information again on the expungement.
Okay, I'm gonna give you Nicole information. Nicole information is called Out for Justice. Her website is outforjustice.org. Um, Her phone number is 443-600-0920. And that'll help you with your expungements. And for you, she want people like you to get involved with her.
Oh yeah,
People,
most definitely.
fellas,
I just
she wants
started
you to
on
get
two
involved with
nonprofits.
fellas because she's a lot. She lobbies at she lobbied at Annapolis, and she want more fellas to be involved to make the voice bigger and have a bigger impact. So
I'm
she'll
in.
be
I'm
looking
in
forward.
all the way. You better believe it. I'm in. So what I would need for you to do, if that's not too much for you, can you please text me her info?
Sure.
Text me all your info. I know I have all your info because I got your mobile card. So I have your info, but text me her info, please, because I'm going to get about 25 people right away to start getting that expungement, maybe even more, because those 25 are going to turn to 100. Those 100 are going to turn to 1,000. We're going to clear our name. We're going to stand and we're going to start doing things the right way for the right reasons. And we're not going to stop until we get this world back to where it needs to be and take that mind that was so tormented as we grew up, because we was only taught what they were taught, and they was not everybody parents wasn't taught correctly, but we can take our mind back and we can take our will back and learn things now if we just start now and do things different if you want it. So I say just join us. And I'm definitely working on 2 nonprofits right now. I help the homeless, I help squatters. I help people that's in distress with mental issues. And I have another nonprofit that's going to be starting very soon. They already approved us. So in the next 6 months, we'll be able to put that nonprofit out. And then, we do so much. So if you just come with not just me, but Eric, you can make a big difference and help thousands of people, because it's not always what you know, but it could be who you know too that can help you grow this nation to a nation of change. Change is what we need right now. And Eric, I'm just it was a pleasure having you on here. We definitely want to have more podcasts in the future, but I'm going to start writing my list, and I need the listeners to write their list. And please reach out, not to just Nicole, but you have to reach out to Eric. The ones that doesn't have a felony or just don't know where to start, please reach out to Eric. He knows what he's doing. He does this. He is the power of law. And just you said it. You said I can come into partnership with you when I got everything together, right?
Let's do it.
I can be the female partner, right?
Yep. I'm partnering. I'm ready. Yep.
Okay, so
I can't reach everybody by myself. I can't reach them by myself. So that's what we partnering. Let's we
all right. And I'm like a 5-man army by myself. In everything I do, I'm a destroyer in a good way.
We're going to turn what they tried to was used as a negative. We're going to turn yours into a positive.
That's right. That's right. They call me the well, not they don't call me. I call myself the connect of all nations, and that's what I go by, because I know I am the connect of all nations. I know I'm a beast in everything I do. I know I'm here to be able not to just change the world person by person, but to be able to just take one person, and that one person is multiplied to millions of people. Because if people understand, get educated, and absorb the things that is necessary to learn how to just stay with finances and to be able to protect yourself the right way, we can take this nation back. I'm talking about the ones that want to make a change. So please reach out to my guy, Eric. Eric, you can stay on, but we are going to get out of here. Do not forget, you are on my podcast with me, Soraya Parker Pill, at Turning the Pages. We will see you at another time.
Thank you. Thank you.
You stay so we can do the backstage.
Okay.
See y'all.